TildeVision Ideas. TildeVision Ideas is a program that explores ideas and concepts in the following areas: psychology, parapsychology, consciousness, ESP, dreams, spirituality, healing, creativity, quantum physics, business, wealth, and the Word of God. As you know, I always love to invite people that are unique and different, and the title of this show is Similar Yet Distinctively Uniquely Different. And I do hope that Joey can write those words for us. So Joey, I'll repeat it. Similar yet distinctively uniquely different. And why did I call this show that? Because my friend Nesha is with me. Nesha is a producer of her own show. The name of her shows are Dream Dancer, Oracle of the Arts, right here at QPTV Queens, New York. And she's not only is she a producer, she's also a director, documentary, and an actor. Nesha is also known as a dream dancer. You won't see her dancing today, but she does dance, and is a multi-dimensional artist. She has evolved in the arts from an early age to immersing herself in all aspects of the fine arts: painting, illustration, linoleum cuts, I've done that, etching, and sculpture. We will see some of her work in a little while. It's a shame that she didn't bring everything with her. She's also a versatile writer and poet, and we will have the honor of hearing her poetry in a little bit. She's also involved in music through song. She writes lyrics, plays the piano. Her dance is a sacred part of her milieu. Nesha Fantasy stands as an example to others, as a mentor and way shower to be creative. She encourages others to follow her footpath and explore their gifts and talents. Please welcome with me, Nesha. Hey, Nesha.
Hi, Matilde.
Oh, I'm glad to see you.
Thank you for inviting me to your show today.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. She's so talented, so very talented. And I know that you have some pictures with you, but
Yes.
Before we show some of your pictures, tell me a little bit about your story beside the bio.
Well, my story is a passion for art. And from a very early age, I have followed the pathway of artistic expression. And my goal, my mission is to share with others how you can evolve also and find your creative gifts and talents. And I'm so happy to be able to share with your audience today. Yes, I am a multi-dimensional artist. That means that I'm into art, visual arts, writing, music, dance, and I also do film work. One can be a multi-dimensional artist if they're great at cooking, directing, decorating, creating clothing, beautiful clothing, sets for the theater. All of this is a similarity. Wouldn't you say so?
Definitely. Many times when I have a show that you're not in it, so I always invite people, and I'll say, do you sing, dance, play an instrument? Do you cook? Are you computer savvy? Do you design websites? Are you a painter, an artist, or even painting a wall? Often, anything that you do and you love it and you do it well, that's your talent, that's your creativity, that's your gift to humanity. So yes, of course, I agree 100%. But this fascinated me, the fact that you're a dancer, a sacred part of your life you devote to dancing.
Well, the line of dance that I follow, and it took a while, like artistic creativity is a process, and one expands. And as more you devote yourself to your passion for art, the more things open up, and you may decide to walk down a different route, a different road, because it's a it's almost a cosmic, like in quantum physics, where there's just, it's like sort of like quantum physics, where you're going to put your attention, but you're still bringing yourself, your talent, and the same process for any art form. So now dance goes back, sacred dance goes back to the roots of the Egyptian temple dancers. In Hawaii, there were temple dancers. In most ancient cultures, there were temple dancers. And this expresses the spirituality through the dance, which imparts an energy, because, of course, energy is everywhere, within everything, and we want to send out, obviously, Matilde and I are sending out to you the most positive vibes right now. And so through the dance, you're expressing through your soul energy. And that energy is a transmission to the viewer.
Okay. So when we were talking a little before the show began, I used to do drumming out in Patchogue. There's a group of women and men also, and they drum, and it's fascinating to hear the drums all at the same time. It's it makes you vibrate, and you feel it. You feel the sound traveling through space, and it affects your body.
Yes, inside, even inside the cranium, there's a hollowness that can expand, and also, of course, the drum is like the heartbeat. It's like in a way, like the Mother Earth or the Mother, because the drum comes from a natural products of the earth, and we feel the drum. And one wonderful thing about dance and many creative projects and processes is that when you're dancing, your mind shuts off. Most people are in their logical mind. Now, creativity is not really a logical process. You need to know what kind of paints you're going to use, your paint box. You need to bring everything together that you need, a clay or whatever. But then, once you have everything together, you're going to shut off that logical mind, and you're going to be intuitive and inspirational and listen to your own heartbeat, which is like the drum, I guess, stimulates that heartbeat. It stimulates the soul. It stimulates your essence, and you want to be in that very essence state, that state of knowing, and then you will know. You will feel the color, the shapes, the symbols, and you will be inspired to do your best creative work, even if it means adding a little bit of basil to your tomato sauce.
That's good. That's a good comparison. As you were speaking, so we know, oh no, so we'll just have to ignore it.
Oh, I hear yourself. I hear music. I hear music.
Yes, it's music.
This is not
it's
apropos.
the music from the phone.
It's lovely.
I am sorry. So what happens is that when we're in that creative mode, we're really operating from the right side of the brain, because as you know, we have the right and the left hemisphere, and also the hindbrain. So we go automatically, we go into the right brain, and that's the creative part. And it's so wonderful. As you were speaking, I could see myself dancing, but I was dancing in another realm, so to speak, because I wasn't dancing here on Earth. Perhaps it was Earth, but a different dimension of Earth.
You're very deep.
But you also made me think of when I was doing the drumming with the group of women. That's wonderful. And when you were sharing about the dancing, there are some churches that have dancers, but they call it spiritual. I guess dancing in the spirit, I guess you would call that. And that's very interesting that you should be involved with that. There's something that I want to address when you say that you're a poet, and I know that you brought some poetry with you. I have a question. Have you written acrostics ever? Okay, so an acrostic is, okay, the name Nesha. So let's say I want to write a poem about you, and I begin the poem with the letter N, then I follow with E, then S, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't want to get into that. I would love to hear your poems.
Well, do we want to look at the art clips first?
Oh, okay.
And then we'll move
That's
on
good.
to writing and poetry.
All right, so,
And
so
then you're going
Joey,
to talk about your poetry, right?
no, I'll talk about you. This is for you. Joey, so you have some clips. Oh, there we go.
Thank
Nesha,
you.
take a look.
Yes, this is a early process of my black and white art. This is an early work. And from this, many things evolved. This is an angel. I like to do portraits of angels, and I add the symbolism. You know, she's flying, but there's still flowers up there with her and stuff like that. Like could be clouds. And this is spacey. It's also maybe futuristic or very, very far back in the past. I'm not sure which.
Okay. Oh, look at this. Okay.
And I like, you know, this is expressive, lady with feeling. I mean, I like to put some feeling into it, and you could see that she's kind of happy. And
okay.
I have a few like that. She's reacting. I think she has a reaction of kind of wow, what's going on there?
Where did you study?
And this is a lady with golden earrings.
Oh my gosh, I had a pair of silver earrings that shaped like that many, many years ago. She looks a little gypsy. Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now this is I'm really into Egyptian art, and this was inspired by Egypt. But you know, I'm into color and symbols, so I threw it all together. This was actually a marker, and this is sort of a reversal of the colors of the other one.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
What did you do in order to reverse? Did you Xerox it, or did you just?
Yeah, it was a process.
Okay.
Of the modern age, and this is a quetzal bird from South America. I really love birds. And the following one is an owl, black and white. I did have an owl because I do a lot of bird illustrations.
Mm-hmm.
This is an old portrait taken after a Raphael painting. This is a watercolor study I did, and this was imaginative, illumined consciousness person.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope you enjoyed these.
Oh, how wonderful. Where did you study?
Sampling. Well, I did go to the Art Students League. And I know you went to the Art Students League.
Yes, we did.
What
year did you go?
When I was younger.
How well?
What
year?
I think not even a teenager.
Really?
My parents encouraged me, and then I went to the High School of Music and Art, which I think is now the Performing Arts, and I did some time at the School of Visual Arts.
Also.
Yeah. And now I'm into my gold phase. I do a lot of symbols, and I like to work with gold.
So you have a gold color jacket and gold color nail polish. Yes, I see that. You're very, very representative of the gold age. That reminds me, Picasso went through his blue phase.
Yes, that was a great phase. I don't know why he left it, but he had to.
He had to. He was depressed, and he came out of it. Fortunately, he did. It's interesting how we go through these phases, and we're fortunate that we're able to express it either in paint, color, words, poetry. Oh, talking about poetry.
Yes, I just want to remind the viewer that all you really need is a pen and a paper. You could use crayons, magic markers. You don't have to have a big art studio or a lot of space to do some art. It's very therapeutic, and it helps you to de-stress as well. So it's something you can explore at the very, let's say the 99-cent stores, and you can really set yourself up well and get going with your art.
You know, you just reminded me, Joey, that's my director, our director, my friend, and Jonathan and Renee's back there. But Joey just offered me paper. And as soon as he said paper, I said, oh, I love paper. But I also love pens. Look, I'm always,
right.
Yeah. What happens is when you...
pens too.
Oh, I'm so happy. Give me pens.
We have all the supplies we need today.
And John Collins, you know, I'll say to him, "Oh, John, do you have a pen?" He says, "No, because you don't return them." It's something with paper. It's amazing. I just love paper because it holds. It's my canvas when I'm writing poetry. So yes, and it's so true what you said, Nesha, that you need so very little. In the 99-cent store, you can pick up brushes or paper or, well, they don't have canvas there, but you can stretch your own canvas if you need to save a few dollars or buy them elsewhere. I used to stretch my own canvas because at that time I was a student.
On rare occasion, you can find canvas at a 99-cent store. I
On
have found it once.
Really?
Once.
Yeah, but they're not 99 cents anymore. Am I correct? They're probably at the
99 cents when I found it.
really. Yeah, let me tell you, it's
They have art books there.
If you find a place, the only place I know is Michael's, where you can buy the corners, you know, the frame, so to speak, and you can. I think you can stretch your own canvas. I haven't seen the roll. I used to buy it by the roll because it was cheaper. And
You're really into art. You're also a multidimensional artist.
yes,
Painting, writing, poetry.
yes, I'm into mandalas. I draw.
Mandalas.
Yes,
Wow.
I paint mandalas. Fascinating, because what you do is something similar to what you did, except that what I do is I draw one big picture just in black and white. Then I'll Xerox that one, and then I add different colors to it, so it gives me variety. Because I'm never satisfied with just one. I have to produce.
That's a circle, a mandala.
Well, yes, you can begin with a circle. You can begin with a square,
Oh, really?
and then draw the circle within it. And the poetry that I do, I can do free, free flowing poetry, but I also do acrostics. With you, you have some poems that I would love to hear.
Yeah, I've been a lifelong devotee of poetry, and recently, the last few years, I've deeply gotten into poetry. I almost chronicle everything in poetry now, and I also feel poetry is a lost art. It goes back as far as humanity, and I feel that there's such a power and energy in poetry. If you were to write some poems, you would set a better future for yourself. Like, it opens things up. Poetry is a great power. And as you can even see in rap, poetry is a very, very strong energy. And used in a certain way, I believe it opens up your life and it will make your life better. So I have 2 poems I would like to share, if I may.
Let me tell you, I'm just looking at your penmanship, and it is so right on. I don't know if you studied calligraphy. Did you? I did. I studied calligraphy.
Not,
and there's something about people that are writers, for whatever reason, their penmanship, their writing is so different. So that's why I wanted to look at it. It's so beautiful. Yes.
You give me a reading later.
Go ahead. Go right ahead.
Tell me about my personality.
Oh, through your writing? Oh, boy.
So this is called Dream Temple. It's about creating your life using your dreams, setting high dreams for yourself. Dream Temple, the temple of your dreams. It flicks from scene to scene, deep within the hidden brain, housing your imagination. Contact a force beyond the known, entering in as imagination grows, playing like shadows upon the wall, amorphous figures, one and all. Palpitate in remorseful strata, springing truth from you to matter. The causation creates, life evolves from dream. Immerse into the dream stream. The thread-like liquid flows, sweet dreams, crackling creation, color, form, magic, special effects.
Love that. I just got transported into that poem. Yeah, it's you talk about the dream. I do dream work. So many times when I finished doing a piece of work on dream, deciphering and decoding and discerning what the message in the dream. So I'll get inspired and I'll write a poem. But the poem came from that dream, not directly, but indirectly as I was working with it. It yielded something more. So that's wonderful. And
That's what I was attempting to say, to convey. Is that you were inspired by the dream to write the poem. Something more came of it. And in our lives, if you want more to come of your life, write some poetry about what you're experiencing and what you hope to experience and what you feel, and things will open up more for you. And you will attract better things.
And on that note, before you go on to your next poem, I also do meditations. I used to give workshops at home, and I invite the people to go into meditation and then simply to come up ever so slightly, not fully awake. So they're still riding in the stream of consciousness. So they open their eyes just enough to be able to focus on the paper, and they write. And then when we finish that workshop, then I bring them fully out of the meditation, and I ask them to share. And they are so surprised at what they wrote, because what they wrote came from a deeper part of themselves, and so they're so unaware of the knowledge that they were able to extract and put it on paper, and they're amazed. And I'm amazed at what happens with me as well. You're tapping a part of the unconscious, because you're in meditation, you've gone under, so to speak, and so you know things that you're not fully aware when you're conscious. So it surprises you. Wow, that was inside of me, and so beautifully phrased, not from the intellect, because that's different. That's totally different. But when it comes from the heart area, it's very simple, and it's a truth, and you become aware of it. The interesting thing is that it was always inside of you, but you needed to access it. And so when I do workshops on consciousness racing, that's one of the things that takes place. The people become aware that they know things that when they're fully out here, they did not know they knew. It's amazing. It's a process.
It's a good process for the viewer to possibly they could go into a meditation and tune in and see what they're writing, or would that be like automatic writing in a way?
Okay, automatic writing.
Is that different?
No, it's still the same. It's just that, it's still the same in that you're in a trance-like state. But you know something, people are so afraid of the word trance or even the word meditation, and yet we go in and out all the time. Sometimes you're driving on the expressway and you miss your exit. Why? Because at that moment you were not fully conscious 100%. You were elsewhere in your mind. Your body is here, obviously, but have you ever been thinking of something and you feel you're immersed in that something, that place, with that person? Well, you're already in trance. And you can go in, and we do. It has been proven scientifically that we go in and out of trance. And it's nothing to be afraid of. It happens to all of us practically all the time. Automatic writing, you place yourself again in trance and you begin to write. That's slightly, since it's trance, it's meditative. When I do meditation work, so I put the person under. I ask them to come up just enough to be able to guide the writing on a page. They're not fully aware what's going to come. They're not fully aware of the next word or the next sentence. They're not. That's why they're in awe. I wrote that came out of me, because it bypasses the intellect. They're reaching another stream of consciousness. It's not intellectual.
It's possible with your description that the viewer could attempt to do the same by going into a meditative or quiet state and just seeing, not thinking, just letting the inspiration come out,
right?
And
not
see
thinking.
see what you could write.
But some people, there's a word of caution here, because you can go very deeply, and there are some people that should not go that deep. When I'm asked to put someone in meditation, for whatever reason, they may want something so mundane as stopping smoking or eating, or something that they want to get rid of. So you put them in a trance, and we access what the real problem is, because usually the presenting problem is not the problem. So, but there are some people that I hesitate to bring them too deeply. It's not wise in their case, and I don't. I just, just relax them. But to continue, you have another poem.
Yes. In the creative mind, I turn fortuitously to narrow down the spectrum of light waves and collect a juxtaposed positioning of special scenescapes, wavering creative patterns in my creative mind.
Okay, I notice you don't have a title for that one.
Yes, I really don't have a title for it.
Okay, I see that. But that's quite all right. Have you ever noticed that you begin to write, and when you finish, then the title comes?
Well, it could
has
be
that happened?
the creative mind. I don't know.
Because that happens to me. In the creative mind, I turn fortuitously to narrow down the spectrum of light waves and collect a juxtapositioning of special scenescapes running creative patterns in my creative mind.
Sort of the
Okay.
describing the essence of creating.
Now,
something.
this was longer. You
No,
tore it. No?
It's just it's a photocopy. That's why.
Oh.
It's a short poem.
Oh,
and
okay.
It gets a short piece of paper, the lovely paper that you love, and it's just
You don't waste
a
paper?
rectangle.
I don't waste paper. Sometimes when I write something and
So thank you for allowing me to share
Oh.
again.
my pleasure. You see how much I save paper? This is the to-do list for today. Order the food, et cetera, et cetera. And then over here is another kind of I don't waste paper because I love paper. And also it saves our trees, I guess, right?
Yes. Even paper making is a creative art. Very creative
Yes, yes. So tell me, when you did liner, so I have to reintroduce, how beautiful. Oh, Joey, I love the scenes, the graphics you have up there. So I want to welcome the viewers once again to TildeVision Ideas. TildeVision Ideas is a program that explores ideas and concepts in the following areas: psychology, parapsychology, consciousness, ESP, dreams, spirituality, healing, creativity, quantum physics, business, wealth, and the Word of God. Many, many people ask me, well, why do you cover so many areas? I said, that's just a few of the things that I'm interested in. And so when I invite a guest, they're either versatile, either in one area or the other. And I'm fascinated and very curious as to the creative process. And so, I may be thinking about business wealth. I may be thinking about my healing center. And and so if I'm thinking, like recently for the past month, I've been thinking very seriously about really getting my real estate, a piece of real estate, to do healing work. And I'm very interested in all different techniques and modalities of healing. And I feel that everything can be healed. The water, the air, the soil, the people, the animals, our ideas, our actions, everything can be healed. Even our relationship with money, or our relationship with God or other people, or even relationship to ourselves, how we relate. And so I'm just a very curious person, and I'll devote time. Sometimes I'll take a word, and from a word I go on and on. It's endless. And so recently I've been thinking, well, about writing this business plan. And I've been writing a business plan, and I've been teaching myself because I really have never written a business plan. People say, I need a business plan. I just want a healing center to do healing work and talk about God. Why do I need a business plan? Well, then they say, well, you have to form a team. I said, oh, but the team is my friends, my colleagues. That's my team. So I'm just curious. So, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to go into art. Art was the first thing that I began to explore. And I'm reintroducing the show. So the very first thing that I did, I was in grammar school, and as the nun was teaching, I decided to draw. And, and she caught me drawing and just took the paper from me and put it upside down on her desk. At the end of the class, I was to see her for punishment. But when she turned the page over, I had drawn the Blessed Virgin Mary from memory, because I have a different image in my mind. I get images and pictures, and the pictures move, and it's beautiful. So she recognized a talent. I didn't know. I was bored with her teaching. So what happens is that I decided to, well, she suggested that I buy the tablet. It was a Catholic newspaper right there in the church that would have it for 10 cents. I didn't have 10 cents. I said, this nun is crazy. She wants me to spend 10 cents and copy someone else's work. I'm not a copyist. I have images in my head. So I started being very curious about art, went to high school, got a scholarship to the Art Students League of New York. So that was one of my creative expressions. But then as I got older, it turned into poetry. But it's still the same thread weaving in and out of itself. So then I began to write prayers, of all things. Why? I don't know. Prayers. And people would say, they sound like prayers. And they were. It was my cry out to God for the situations that I found myself in life and that were very unsatisfying. So I would always say the paper takes anything you give it. And from the prayer, it turned into poetry. And from poetry, it turns into courses and workshops. And I would design workshops and write them out. And now I'm writing a program of courses, all related to healing. So it's still the curiosity, and I express it through a different mode of the creative aspect. And so that's why today I decided to invite my girlfriend, Nesha. She's a producer here at QPTV in Flushing, Queens. And she's a host of a Dream Dancer, Oracle of the Arts, and she has produced a variety of shows, her with her husband and her crew. I have my crew. She has she directs her programs as well. She also does documentary, and she's an actor. It's interesting that she's an actor, and once I took an acting class, and the professor said to me, what's your major? And I said, psychology. And he said, oh, what a shame, you're a natural. Everybody would call me a natural. But I remember I used to love ad-libbing, acting on the spur of the moment. What do you call that? Impromptu? Loved it. I could invent instantly. I could invent the language, the scene, everything. So I noticed that you also, well, you dance. I don't dance. I used to dance. I used to dance as a child and a younger me. You're also involved in all different kinds of arts, painting, illustrating, etching, linoleum cuts, and sculpture. I never did sculpture. And so you are a poet and a writer. Mm-hmm. You're involved with music. You play the piano. And so and you also serve as mentor for other creative people. That's wonderful. I teach Bible in my home every other week, and so I mentor them in Scripture. I'm a mentor and a coach. So you see, we have a lot of similarities, and that's why I called this particular show similar, yet distinctly and uniquely different. Because you're a world into yourself. You're a world. That's your world, and my world is similar yet different.
Of course.
And we're both producers. It's amazing how we both studied at the same school, the Art Students League of New York. It's simply amazing, and yet look where we meet. I mean, you were going through your process. I was going through mine. You're much younger than I, so.
Well, you know, we both started with our gift of art.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's our roots there, and then we each went and expanded and went different ways and
Amazing,
along
yes.
similar lines and yet uniquely different lines. And we're here today sharing on with the similar outlooks.
Yes.
And
Did
similar awareness and of the creative process.
Did you ever try sewing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yes, yes. I had a little sewing machine. I didn't know how to thread it. It was annoying, but I knew how to cut, and I had this design, and I made my daughter when she was first born. She must have been about a year or two. I made a dress for her, and then down the front, I crochet. Do you crochet?
No.
I crocheted these little flowers, and I decorated. It was all hand, and I'm saying, oh my gosh, I just remembered that. I hadn't thought of that in so many years. But what I didn't like about the sewing, well, I'm also not terribly organized in certain areas. So I knew I had the paint. I had to put my paints away because I knew my husband was very, very neat. And I knew he would not like the turpentine or the paints all over the place. So I gave that up. But then I noticed with the sewing, the thread and the material, I said, oh, I don't think he's going to like that either. And so I gave up a lot of my creativity in order to be neat and organized and clean. And I guess I'm rebelling right now because I'm not all that organized with my papers. Do you accumulate papers?
I declutter my papers all the time. And the paper is so wonderful. We have already agreed in the early part of the show that paper and paper is even a creative process. People make paper.
Yes, I would love to learn how to make paper. I would love to have my own printing press. What about you?
Oh, I had a printing press as
You
a
did?
kid.
You did?
Yeah.
As a kid?
You know.
A little thing, yes.
Yeah, and we used to make little newsletters for
Oh, how wonderful.
our building.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, so.
I often
That's
thought...
one of the early things way I've got into writing.
Yes.
You know, I think, hopefully the viewer, you, or everyone that's watching, you have been encouraged in the arts in one way or the other, writing, decorating, sewing. And if you haven't been, then you need to encourage yourself. And if anyone has said something like, oh, you don't have any talent or something, this is not possible. Everyone just innately has gifts and talents, and just go ahead and explore and have some confidence.
Oh, I love that. I love that. It looks like I'm looking out
that's,
of
that's
an
a
eye.
famous
How
work
beautiful.
of art there. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Oh, I love it.
Spacey.
Oh, yes. And look at this
That's
one.
Magritte, I think. Yes, that's Magritte.
I don't know.
This one, I don't know.
I don't know this one, but it's beautiful, and I love it. Love
So
every bit.
you're
Oh, look at
You're
this.
giving the viewers
Oh, yes.
some beauty to look at.
Oh, the eye only sees what the mind is prepared to see. Wow. Oh, I love it. I love it. Reminds me of my mandalas. Oh, look at this. I love. I hope the viewers enjoy the graphics.
Have you done a show with your art?
My
shared
art.
your art?
Perhaps I've shown a few pieces, but not an entire show. I love that one. That's the lotus, yeah. Meditating on the lotus, wow. Gorgeous.
Great colors.
Talk to me.
The video.
Oh, the video.
Oh yes, well, and then in my progression,
Go ahead.
my progression as a multidimensional artist, which means that you're just exploring all kinds of art, and it just you evolve. And I got into music, and there's a small clip of my husband and our group. We have a little group, and we did a musical documentary.
What's the name of the group?
Well, the Fantasy Man, and this is
Fantasy Man?
yeah.
Okay.
And this is a clip called Sojourner of the Dream, and just shows you we got together and we did actually, we had a documentary filmed of the studio. And my husband, he does the music start to finish.
What's his name?
Mickey Fantasy.
Mickey.
He's a blues singer, and he just has his own technique where you don't have to spend a lot of money on studio time, because you just go in from start. After you set up start to finish, you just keep going as long as you have life.
Okay, wait a minute. So where is this place? In your home?
No, this was a studio in the village.
Oh, okay.
Village, village.
Oh, so you from beginning to end, you just keep doing what your stuff?
Yeah, we just tell the musicians just keep playing, and we just keep going, and then you get something.
Oh,
and
okay.
a lot of and great music comes out of it.
There it is.
You came to me in my hour of loneliness. You came to me in my hour of need. Oh, dreams are a vision. You're a vision. Dreams are a vision of all that could be. Light up on high, illumines the darkness.
Is that an outfit that you have? A particular outfit in red?
That's what I wore.
How beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Did you design that?
No,
Oh, you
I
bought
found
it.
it. I found it
Yeah,
at
yeah.
a discount.
Wonderful. Oh, how
That's
wonderful.
a good thing. Yeah, so you know.
No, the reason I
fun.
asked, it's
What?
interesting. Oh, this brings back so many memories. So okay. I taught with the Board of Ed for 14 years, and once a year we would have this celebration, the Puerto Rican Day, Discovery Day, whatever. And so I would have my students. I would design, I would design their dresses. Then I'd find myself a seamstress. They would have to measure them, and it was my design, and that's why I asked you, did you design that? Because sometimes
Well,
you.
we're talking about creativity.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you're bringing back so many memories. Look at that. Look at the brain. Yes. We have, and by the way, to the viewers,
The brain is not necessarily logical. It's really not.
No,
the
and-
brain is like an all-knowing.
look how beautiful. And okay, so the brain is a physical thing housed inside the skull. However, the mind itself is out here. I mean, the mind is not necessarily in here. And so we
Our brain is our computer.
exactly.
and
It's the hard
we
drive.
have a really great computer.
Excellent. The best that God could make. So
So from music, you know, I went on into film, and that's when I
Okay,
I
talk
became
to
a
me.
producer.
oh, that's really
Such as yourself. So I've been a producer at Queens Public TV for 2 years. I did 103 shows so far. I produced. I
But
direct.
here at QPTV.
Yeah, it's a.
But what about the film? Did you make
Thankfully,
films outside?
Well, I'm working on artistic documentaries and some educational documentaries. And we did a documentary behind the scenes of, it was Mickey Fantasy's idea, behind the scenes of when you go into the studio and stuff like that. That we're probably going to have that either on YouTube or Vimeo. And we're on YouTube. If you go to Sojourner of the Dream, you find the Mickey Fantasy channel, and we have about 63 videos on YouTube. Sojourner of the Dream.
I'm writing this down.
Because the Mickey Fantasy channel, if you can't really get to it because
Why
Mickey
not?
Mouse pops up. Mickey Mouse is very popular,
Oh,
and so you have to go to a clip, and that would be Sojourner of the Dream.
go to Sojourner. Okay.
And I feel that one of us is
Of
like
the-
a treasure.
Give me a split second.
Yes.
So go to Sojourner of what?
Not soul, so like it's a French word, sojourn, S-O-J-O-U-R.
S-O-J-O-U. Mm-hmm.
N-E-R.
Okay, N-E-R.
Sojourner of the dream.
Okay.
So it's like a traveler of the dream, a sojourner of the
Okay.
dream.
But it's interesting. I wrote Sojourney, right? Because
Yeah,
I'm into
sojourney,
that.
Is very it is interesting.
Because,
See? Yeah.
As a matter of fact, that's one of the titles that my granddaughter gave me when she was 8 years old. Soul healer.
Ah.
Yeah, because I'm very much into the soul.
Well, I'm very interested in your healing center. I'm
Yes.
looking forward to it.
Oh,
I want to
yes.
follow
Oh,
that.
I love that. That makes
Matilde.
me very happy.
Yes.
That
Do you
makes
have
me-
a name for it? Can you
Yes.
share your name?
Yes, the Creative Spirit Healing Center
Oh, beautiful.
with TildeVision Diaz Productions.
The Creative
The Creative Spirit Healing
Spirit
Center
Healing Center.
with TildeVision
Yes.
Ideas
Yes.
Productions.
I
That
totally
name,
agree with you that earth can be healed, water can be purified,
yes,
energetically.
yes,
You know, prayer has scientifically been proven to
yes.
have power.
Oh, did you see what I'm doing as you're speaking? I can't stand
Doodle.
myself. I doodle. Every piece of paper I doodle.
Doodle is a great.
You're right here, and I'm
And then the
doodling,
word
and I'm
doodle,
doodling.
You know, it's really fun. Just basically fun.
You know who used to doodle a lot? John F. K. John
Oh,
Kennedy.
really?
Yeah.
See?
He used to doodle.
Geniuses.
It's amazing,
Geniuses doodle.
amazing.
Geniuses
You bring
doodle.
back so many memories. My gosh. So she.
I
called-
did want to mention that my husband and I, we did the Speculator, the Journal of the Arts. Back in the 70s, we gave out like hundreds of thousands of free artist newspapers.
Okay.
And we had that going for a while. And we self-published poetry, booklets, science fiction, history, quotes, short stories.
So both of
and
you
like that.
self-published?
Yeah.
Independently or together?
Oh, when we got together, my husband was very into poetry and
Uh-huh.
used to have a poetry reading.
Okay, me too.
And
Where I used to
I
go.
would attend that.
Oh, I went to la esquina de las letras. It was in Spanish, and it was in the city. I forgot the address. I used to love, and you would read your poetry, and I would read my poetry. Another similarity. You see that? Amazing. It's simply amazing. Wow. So you self-published.
Yeah.
Oh,
But we still
you should have.
still self-publish,
You should have
which
brought.
is a great way. I mean, why wait? And now you have your e-books. You could self-publish in so many ways.
Is it easy for you? Is it very easy for you?
It is. It becomes easier because you learn the process,
Mhm.
and so then it becomes like second nature, and you don't have to think of with your logical mind, what do I do next? You can just be creative and put things together.
How many books have you published by yourself? You know,
Well, I
self-publishing.
published many booklets. I published one on Lincoln, Benjamin Franklin, Hispanic history.
Why the presidents?
Well, because they're very inspiring.
Okay.
Benjamin Franklin was
He appears on
A-
the
a
$50 or
genius.
$100 bill. Yeah.
Benji, our friend.
Benji. Okay.
Benji, you know, and if you actually have an extra $100 bill and you put it up on the wall
Yeah.
and you just, you know, because like attracts like,
Yes.
and you can
Do-
just say
do you-
hi, Benji, you know, and
Oh, I spent my
it's a
$100
good
bill
way.
yesterday.
It's a good way to
I did. I carried the
magnetize cash.
True, because yeah, I believe in that. So I would look at it and said, but I used it yesterday to get my car inspected. I needed it.
Yeah, well, it's always good to have a few Benjis tucked aside.
So what do you do with them?
Oh, well, I like to have one when I can, have one up on the wall.
And what do you do?
I used to say hi to Benji, you know, you just, because like attracts like.
Okay.
Just say, hey, you know, hey, or I had a great day, or, you know. If you're getting familiar, if you're familiar with your cash and you know what they look like and everything, that's a better way to attract.
You know what I don't like
Attract
about
money.
cash?
What?
I don't like that stinky smell that they have because it goes from hand to hand to hand. If I told you what I do with my dollar bills, you might not
You
believe
put it in
me.
the microwave?
Oh no!
Purify it?
Oh no! But that's an idea. It won't get burned, will it?
Well, this I have never tried it.
No, but it has ink. Well, no. I literally clean it.
Mhm.
I clean every dollar bill that comes into my possession.
So I remember you telling me, like, you get into the creative process,
Yes.
and that when you write, things just flow, right?
True.
That would be like being in the zone, or being zen, or being meditative.
Yes.
And I think that every creative process, you get into that place where, like, for me, for one thing about doing art, don't ever think you're making a mistake doing art. If you make a mistake, it's sort of like a challenge, and it's sort of like the creative gestalt telling you maybe you should try moving it into another direction. Just go with the flow, go with the process. Don't say, oh, I ruined it. No.
Oh, no.
Continue, and you're going to find that it becomes something more. And in writing, we both also open up to that creative inspiration where it kind of just flows. You can train yourself to just let things flow and be inspirational and make magic, enjoy, and elevate.
I'm listening to you, but I'm also watching what they're doing back there.
They're having
And
fun.
They're having fun.
Joey and Jonathan.
Yeah, they're giggling back there, and I saw those faces.
The dynamic duo back there is really throwing up some
happy,
more
happy.
happiness.
Be
All
happy.
right.
Don't worry. Be happy. You know, there's a book that I want to buy, and it's called, I think, Happy or Be Happy. And I want to get it because it's important to be happy all the time. Oh, I love that. What is it? Wow. It looks like he's holding a balloon, but yet it's not a balloon, it's something else. I love these images that he's putting up on the screen.
Creativity.
It's creativity, yes. Yes. Look at the doodles. Now, do you think I know what this is? But I love it.
It looks like it's like a kind of a seashell.
Yes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it looks like. It could also
It
be
says
a
go with the
butterfly.
flow.
Yes, go with the flow.
Be true to you. That's my motto. Dream Dancer's motto. Be true to you.
You know,
So, be creative.
Let me just give a little note of instruction to the viewers if they care to listen. You know, if you desire to write and you don't know what to write about, prepare yourself with a piece of paper and a pen and just relax yourself and begin to write. The same thing goes with painting. You know, lay out your palette. That simply means to lay out your colors and to arrange them in a certain sequence from light to dark, and just begin to allow the hand to flow. And if you like, it's called a wash. So you wet the piece of paper first, just run it under the faucet real fast, or brush it with water, and then draw on it. Know that it's damp so the colors will run. And that's wonderful because the colors will run and mingle and mix with the other colors. And it gives you a pattern that you did not expect and that you cannot really truly control 100% because the water moves the color. I used to do a lot of gouaches, and it's very exciting. And then after it dried, then I would do a line drawing over it, over the gouache. So it's so beautiful because the color sometimes was off, the arm or the face or the head, but it was interesting. And that's the important thing, that you want to be creative. You don't want to be restricted by line or by someone else's style. You want to be able to produce your own. Right. And as a matter of fact, that's what got me the scholarship. I'll tell you the story very, very briefly. I was a youngster, of course. I was in high school, and I most of the time didn't do my homework. So this particular day, the teacher came into the room and exited. I said, oh, good, I have time to do a painting. So I grabbed colors real fast. But of course, he comes back in, and I go, oh, the paper is wet. So he says, okay, everybody hand in your homework. And I'm saying, leave mine on top. So everybody, leave Maddie's on top is wet. Leave Maddie's on top. So of course, when he gets this pack of homework assignments, mine is on the top, and he would look at it. Who did this? So I said, I'm caught. He noticed it's wet. So of course, I had
But
to.
it was art.
It's art, and you had to sign it. It's homework. So he said, no, you didn't. You didn't do this. And I had done it. The kids around me knew it. I had done it in the classroom. So he said to me, well, if you did that, do another one like it. I said, just like it? And I'm thinking, under the stress that I was in when I did that, P.S., that got me the scholarship. Would you believe? Would you believe?
Because it was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
That's part of your destiny. Your
And it's
journey.
also part of a particular style. It was a style of specific colors and specific, even though I felt the stress and the pressure, it came out so beautiful. Flow. But I think it was the speed with which I was doing it. Like you weren't thinking, everything was just flowing.
And you were young back then.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Younger. I'm still young.
Yes, you are young.
He's giving us 2 minutes.
2 minutes? All right.
So
It's been fun. Thank you for inviting me and,
you're
and having
welcome.
me here to share with you
You're welcome. You're
some
welcome.
of our commonality
Oh, so
and the
many.
passion of art.
And I want to thank the viewers for tuning in today. And I know of a particular gentleman, he wanted to know what channel, because I forget to tell people the times of the channels, and I don't know. I tell them, look up TildeVision Ideas, QPTV, and you'll get the schedule. Do I remember the schedule? No.
Well, it's the second
I know-
Thursday, right?
It's live is second Thursday of every month, channel 34. I'm also on Mondays, I believe it's 11 a.m., channel 79. And I'm also on Wednesdays, 9 p.m., channel 34. And so there. I usually don't give that information. For this year, for the year 2017, there, the credits are going up. So I want to thank Joey Walters, Jonathan Griffith, Fran Pellegrino, Richard Graciano, Filthy Rich, and Rene Valdivia. He's in charge. He's the master trainer, helper. He's a delight to be around, and I thank you. Bye now.